And in Michigan, we've got a brand new trial for you. The trial of defendant Marshella Chidester. She's charged with 2 counts of murder after police say she plowed through a children's birthday party drunk. Now, we're delaying our broadcast of the case by court order. We have to follow the rules of the courtrooms where we put our cameras. And so this morning, we're going to show you the start of the trial. We're going to show you the opening statements and then the first couple of witnesses' testimony. So here we go. Let's begin with the opening statements.
On April 20th, a young mother named Kristen Sigler threw a birthday party for her 3-year-old son, Stetson. Like many mothers, Kristen went all out for the party. She had a face painting station, a hot dog bar, entertainers, props and backdrops for photos, and even a bounce house outside of the party. Kristen has worked for several years at the Swan Boat Club in Berlin Township, Newport, state of Michigan, right on Lake Erie. She used the club's event space to hold the party. The party started at noon, and by a little before 3 p.m., the party guests had just finished singing happy birthday to the guest of honor. By all accounts, it was a very successful party, it was well attended, and the kids there were taking advantage of all the attractions. However, at the same time, less than 2 football fields away, at her home, the defendant was leaving, pulling out onto Branshaw Road. She was also headed to the boat club. Both of these events are memorialized on camera. The party was captured on the Swan Boat Club security cameras, and the defendant on a home camera mounted above her garage building across the street. Mariah Dodds, a longtime friend of Kristen's, and her 3 children, Jaden, Zayn, and Alanah Phillips, had just sat down at a table to enjoy their lunch from the party's hot dog bar. As they were beginning their meal, the defendant backed out of her driveway, accelerated her car in an arc out of her driveway, crashing into a small tree and then into her neighbor's full-size pickup truck, forcing it through a wooden fence. The defendant then places her car in drive and speeds off toward the boat club, just 4 houses down. As Mariah grabs cake pops at the dessert station for her kids, the defendant barrels at full speed down Branshaw Road and makes a right turn into the club parking lot. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ken Lorraine. I'm an assistant prosecutor for the County of Monroe. Along with my fellow assistant prosecutors, Christopher Marriott and Alexis Hatch, we will prove to you over the course of the next several days that defendant's actions in this case make her guilty of the charges of second-degree murder for Zayn and Alanah Phillips, OWI causing death for Zayn and Alanah Phillips, and OWI causing serious impairment of a body function for Zayn and Alanah's mom, Mariah, their brother, Jaden, and for Ed Smothers, Leah Stith, and Diane Medina. I don't particularly like long and winding opening statements. I like to give the jury what I would want if I were a juror. A roadmap, a table of contents to what the prosecution will present to you over the course of the trial. To simplify things for you folks, basically the way we're going to present this is you're going to hear from our witnesses in 4 groups. The first group will be guests and boat club members at the party. They'll talk about the party, they'll talk about the crash, and to some degree, they'll talk about what they saw of the defendant. Some of them will help us show you video of the crash and its aftermath. Some of them will simply tell you what they saw and what they remember, or what they don't remember. And they'll tell you what they went through. You'll not hear from all of them.
The proofs, I believe, are going to show that you're going to get to know a little bit of Marshella Chidester through possibly people that are going to come in. That she was in the military at 18 years old. That she served 4 years in the Army, the real Army. I'm not talking about something up north, and I don't knock that at all, but she was serving. She was serving. And you're going to get to know about her life through people. and that she's never been pulled over for a ticket in her life. She's a better driver than me. And she's never had a ticket to even get pulled over for in her 50-some years. We believe the proofs will show her credibility, and that's what this is. This case, like a lot of cases, are about credibility. And that she was an excellent driver. I believe the proofs will show, I know the proofs will show, that she suffered from seizures and neuropathy. And it wasn't something the proofs will show that is just made up that day. She had been going through it, the proofs will show, for a long time, and was treated at U of M, Cornwall, Beaumont, whatever name it goes by today, on 4th Street in Trenton. There'll be proofs on this. And it also showed that it didn't happen all the way that she had these seizures all the time. It'd be pretty rare. But when she had one, it was not good. I think the proofs will show that when she has a seizure, documented, her feet go down, like real hard, the proofs will show, and her hands too. And then after less than a minute, the proofs will show that it relaxes again and you're a little bit spaced out. And for up to an hour. The proofs will show on our side of the table that when you see the videos, and normally I'm not nuts about videos, but when you see the videos that they believe will fully support, it'll support a vehicle being put to the floor from her house to go 450 feet. Put to the floor. Metal to the pedal, pedal to the metal, whatever. Put to the floor. The proofs will show such that going on is out of character completely. Out of character completely. Something happened. And we believe the proofs will show, you keep an open mind, please, will show that's exactly what the proofs will show, is that the feet go down. And you do, when I was growing up, it was called a hole spot. You punch it right to the floor. I never did that, but it was like drag racing back when I was growing up. And just took off in a gravel place. And the cameras catch this vehicle just taking off and going right there. The proofs will show. She won't drive that way. And she's been driving a long time, 50, 55 years. The proofs will show that when this happened, and it's horrible, that the vehicle went in 25 feet into the building. Horrible. It was a birthday party. I've had children. I know. Couldn't imagine it. The proofs will show that when she was honest with them, because you look for other evidence for credibility, corroborating evidence, the proofs will show that she said, they say, what's going on? Police arrive. That I had one glass of wine.
Was it medical problems that caused the crash, or was it a blood alcohol level twice the legal limit? Let's bring in our law enforcement analyst guest to weigh in. She is a domestic violence expert as well, and the host of the podcast Strong Enough. Claudia King is here on the program today. Claudia, good morning. Your thoughts on the differing stories from the attorneys?
Good morning, Julie. I find it very interesting, the differing stories. And I guess the problem that I have, even with the defense's story, is if this woman knew that she could be a danger behind the wheel, she shouldn't have been behind the wheel at all. Apparently, she had the seizure condition, and she was also on medication that, combined with alcohol, could cause increased drowsiness, dizziness, other symptoms. The issue I have, though, with the seizure story is her behavior after the crash. To me, she didn't come across as, loopy or spaced out like people are when they come out of a seizure. She acted more like somebody who was intoxicated.
Oh, yeah, she sure did. The officer in a body camera footage asked her on a scale of 0 to 10, 0 being stone cold sober, you can drive perfectly, 10 being you're passed out drunk. Where do you think you're at right now? And she said, a 7. The deputy said, you think you're okay to drive? She said, I wouldn't want to drive. And he says, you wouldn't let you drive. And then she says, no. Yeah, and yet here we are at trial. Claudia, I'm stunned. I'm actually really stunned that she's taken this case to trial. If I was on that jury seeing that video, that would have me thinking twice and really scrutinizing carefully every excuse that she's putting forward here. I know it's up to the state to prove it. She doesn't have to prove anything, but this was just reprehensible conduct, if you ask me.